Lately, I have been on a learning rampage because I find it so intriguing that some companies pay out dividends and that you're able to invest money in a company, in a business, or in an index fund, and you will get money back for doing absolutely nothing. I honestly can't picture a better business model where you don't have to do anything and you get paid money. But what I noticed and what was a little concerning and or frustrating to me is the fact that some of the companies that I know and I love and I want to keep investing in do not pay dividends. So I wanted to start doing some research into why a company would pay dividends and why some companies may choose to not pay dividends. And today's show is going to be about what I learned. So if you're new to the channel, this is Creating Cash Flow. My name is Dallin Wardrop, and this is a story. This show is a story all about my life and going from $0 in passive income earnings per month. And my goal is to get to $1 million in passive income earnings per month. So I'm sharing everything that I learned, my wins, my mistakes, everything here on this channel. So if that sounds fun and interesting and you want to follow along, I would appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. And if you like this video, go ahead and give it a like, but let's jump into it. So the first thing that I learned that I did not know before is that dividends can be paid out in various ways. I thought they were always paid out in cash, but dividends can be paid out in cash, shares of stock, and other property. I still don't know what that other property means, but apparently you can get paid out in various forms when you invest in companies that pay out dividends. I personally like the cash payouts when it comes to dividends. The next thing that I learned is probably the reason why one of my favorite companies to invest in does not pay dividends, and that is Tesla. I think Tesla is such an interesting company. Elon Musk is such an interesting person, and that stock is on a really great trajectory, and I see a lot of things coming out of the Tesla brand, and it just happens over and over and over. And so that's a company that I would want to invest in. But they don't pay out dividends, and to me, I was a little bit frustrated with that because that means I can't benefit from owning that stock at all until I sell out once the stock price has appreciated. But I learned that a lot of companies that are startups, they do not pay out dividends because they believe that they'll be able to drive more value to the shareholder, me, and to the business if they reinvest the extra money. So the dividend is usually money that gets paid out after all the expenses are paid. So they paid the employees, they have enough money for R&D, they have enough money for marketing, sales, anything else that they want to do. And they're like, hey, we can store this money and just kind of keep it in the side in case we need any more, or we can try and attract more shareholders by paying out a portion of these earnings into dividend payouts. So right now, because Tesla is so young and they're still doing so many crazy things and they're experimenting with so much, the decision has been made to not pay out dividends because it will drive more value, or the belief is that they will be able to drive more value to the company if they keep that money and reinvest it back into the business. So unfortunately for now, Tesla and other companies like it are not paying out dividends. So apparently, not only companies that are growing like Tesla or very early stage that are growing do not want to pay dividends, but sometimes a company will say, hey, we're established, we're doing very well, and we still don't want to pay dividends. And the reason that they do that is because, like we mentioned with Tesla, the company believes that they'll be able to drive more overall value for the shareholders and for the business if they keep reinvesting that money. So maybe a business that is well established and already doing very, very well, they may choose to not pay out dividends or stop paying out dividends if they believe they are going to be launching something new, something exciting, and they really believe that putting that extra money into research and into sales, marketing, whatever, wherever they need to put it, they can create more value, then a company can decide to do that as well. So another thing that I learned is that a company that is willing to pay steady and high dividends is essentially a major business flex. Not all businesses can afford to pay high dividend yields and also pay them on a regular basis. So when a company is able to do that, not only do they attract more shareholders, which does benefit the company, but they're kind of saying, hey, we have the money, we have the resources, we have what it takes. We have a business model that is working, it's been incredibly successful, and we can pay out shareholders for that. So in my opinion, it kind of feels like a business flex. One other thing that I learned that somebody said is kind of a Warren Buffett mentality or whatever, a Berkshire Hathaway type deal, is that lots of times they won't want to pay out dividends because they want to have a large pot of cash so they can acquire other companies. So maybe they're not going to be paying out dividends because Yes, they can pay for all their expenses. They have a great business model. But if they want to be acquiring other companies and other businesses that are kind of in their line of work or could benefit that line of work, maybe they can drive more value for the shareholders on the appreciation side of the valuation of the stock by acquiring those businesses. Next, the other thing that I learned, which was a little bit tough to swallow because dividends kind of seem new to me. I've been getting paid some dividends for a little bit, but apparently dividends can get slashed. So either they can be taken away completely in times of hardship, or if the business decides to change directions, or they can be cut back significantly. Ideally, the dividends will grow as stock price grows and as a business grows, and you can get more and more out of that dividend. But it's no guarantee and potentially could change at any time. And the last thing that I learned is that there are major tax implications when paying dividends, which frankly is pretty frustrating, and I hate the US tax system. I want to do a full rant video on this later. Actually, as I was writing up this video, it had me going off on all of these taxes that we have to pay. But basically, the company has to pay taxes on the dividends that they issue, and then the shareholders that receive those dividends have to pay taxes on it. So from what I can understand, dividends are taxed twice, which to me is so frustrating and so unfair. And so the government's taking their cheddar right off the top. A lot of businesses and maybe even a lot of shareholders think, hey, that's not worth it. I don't want this money to get taxed twice. I would rather only be taxed once on the sale of my stock that has appreciated. So that's everything that I learned on dividend payouts and why companies pay dividends versus why some companies choose not to pay dividends. If you have any other thoughts, or if you know more about dividends, or you have a link to more I should be reading, go ahead, add it in the comments down below. And I hope you found this video helpful. Again, if you did, go ahead, leave a like. That helps a lot. And as always, stay focused on your goals. Remember, the mind is a powerful thing. Stay grounded in gratitude, and thank you for watching. See ya.